So, by now we've all lived the convenience of skip the dishes and Uber Eats. And for some like myself at this point, I'm not 100% sure on how I'd live without them. Now that the world is opened up again and we're all getting back to going out, we're realizing that there are some pain points with large crowds and getting our food and beverages at outings that could use a little touch of convenience in itself. CEO Jade Childs and COO Evan Wayne of Ordr decided to tackle a solution for this, and once you hear about what they're delivering to your next sports event, we're all going to be thanking them. Guys, thanks so much for coming and having a chat with me today about your app, your technology you guys have developed. We talk about pain points when it comes to going out and experiencing, now that the world is open, experiencing events and stuff like that. And you guys jumped in and straight up tackled a solution for this pain point through Ordr, which is super cool. Tell me a little bit. I'm going to start with Evan. Tell me a little bit about what Ordr is, how it came to be.
Yeah, so the biggest thing for me is, like, first of all, I'm unlucky, but I'm not as unlucky as Jade, and I'll let him tell his story.
Oh, no.
But, like, it's premium entertainment when you go to events and stuff, and people have limited entertainment dollars. And, like, I've fortunately been allowed, like, experiences in VIP areas and allowed to have some of that experience. And it's like, well, I had never gone to a game just with my own money with paying less than $400 or so for my wife and I to go. And it's like, well, how can I bring that premium? How can we bring that premium experience, as well as lines suck. Nobody likes lines. I think, like, especially like after 2 years of standing 6 feet apart, nobody likes lines. Right? And you want to stay at the game that you're at, that you've paid so much money at. And, like, if you have your kids or anything like that, like, lines are a nightmare with kids. Like,
Gotcha.
So that's kind of the like where that came from on my end. Like, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah. Awesome. Jade, maybe just kind of give us what Ordr is. What exactly does it do and how does it operate?
Absolutely. So it was conceptualized actually through the palpable personal experience of missing big moments. So Battle of Alberta, Calgary, Edmonton Oilers, Rogers Place, I think it was January 20th of 2020. I, like many others, 5 minutes to go in the first period, get out of my seat, beat the lines. Of course, 40 other people have that same great idea as me, and I'm still stuck in a big line. A minute or two goes by, crowd goes wild behind me. I look up on probably a 50-inch screen TV from 20 feet back, and I see Nugent Hopkins drop the gloves. Nugent Hopkins, not a big fighter. And I was just like, oh, man, this is just yet another moment that I've missed. Penalties, penalty shots, goals, fights, the whole works. I've missed it standing in line. So I got to catch that on, TSN the next day, and the light bulb went off and said, there's got to be a better way. How, in this day and age, 2020, you can tap a button, have an Uber show up, tap a button, book your Airbnb for the weekend, but you're spending $300, $400, $500 on a game. Can't you just tap a button and have your food be prepared in the background? And better yet, how about take that Uber model and have that food delivered directly to your seat for a fee?
Right.
So Ordr was, conceptualized at that moment. And Evan and I have a mutual friend, and I connected with Evan and said, hey, this is my idea. And what do you think about it? Evan's also a big sports guy. He said, I'm so in. I thought you'd never ask. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So we put together a little MVP, and I'll let you talk to that because I think it was Adobe Illustrator or something.
No, it was Adobe XD, which is a great little program. It's free, I believe, or was free at the time.
Right.
It's not. It might not be now because Adobe makes a ton of money. So, but yeah, we made a little MVP, made a slideshow, raised a friends and family round, and through that time, Jade and I are pretty shameless in like who we'll ask, because like our whole philosophy is people are people, and people are motivated by making money. So like,
absolutely,
we've had midnight conversations with like Jordan Belfort, like the Wolf of Wall Street. And then our lead investor, we started from mentorship, and that came from a Facebook message that Jade sent him.
Yep.
Just cold. Right?
Good stuff.
It's like not being afraid to just do
Yes.
things and try things has been probably the biggest lesson that I've had. Is people limit so much of their life just by not trying things or saying no before they even tried.
Yeah, yeah. No, it pays to be bold. It pays to be bold for sure. So now you've brought this out. You've got a bunch of partners now. Tell us about some of those partners and the reception they've had now with this technology integrated into their operations.
We expanded really quick.
Yeah, I can imagine.
We had a deal with the Canadian Elite Basketball League on a national level before we had even hit the app stores. So we just said, hey, have faith in us. Here's our product. We'll have it out. And so we did a league-wide deployment, launched in November of 21 with one venue, the Grant Fuhr Arena out in Spruce Grove. And expanded to 15 venues over the course of the next 5 months. We have operations in Texas, Illinois, Georgia, and soon to be California.
Holy jeez.
And it was fantastic. We grew so fast that we actually figured we got to taper things back a little bit, figure out proper deployment practices, making sure that we get the best experience to our end customer.
Gotcha. Yeah. And how's the reception been from these stadiums taking this on? Like, they must have went doy when they saw this. Like, why didn't we think of this?
Yeah, the reception has been great so far. Users like to use us. We had one event where the dad ordered in-seat delivery, and his kids were just freaking out. Like, who the heck's my dad? Like, why are we getting our food delivered? This doesn't make any sense, right? Like, how cool is my dad? And he just came up to me after at the end of the game because I had talked to him. And he's like, I am a rock star to my kids.
Yeah.
And fans are really central to the teams and the venues, like what they are conscious of their experience.
Yeah.
And stuff like that just makes it easy. It's
hands down
so much easier to be like, the people are going to have so much better experience at your game enjoying your product when they're not being herded around like cattle and just standing in line.
Yeah.
Right.
And then revenue model wise for them, it's a pretty smart move. I mean, it's your website even says, it turns every seat into a point of sale. I'm sure that there's got to be a stat somewhere that says, more people would order with this option as opposed to having to get up. Like, just that sometimes that thought. I mean, even for me, get up to go to the door to get my Uber Eats, I'm like, ugh.
Well, I actually got that stat off the top of my head because I'm a stats guy.
Good.
56% of surveyed people have said that they would order more if lines were even shorter.
Right.
We're just
and
shorter.
You're just
let alone there's no
lines.
Like you can just order whenever you want.
Yeah.
And so and really the benefit is rather than having these big spikes and breaks in play or having people make there is a barrier to ordering when you don't want to miss the game.
Yeah.
Right? But rather than having these big peaks and valleys, you're just having a constant stream, right?
Yes.
So you're not paying people to stand there, but you're also getting more revenue throughout the entire time.
And efficiency goes up and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's fantastic. So I mean, you guys are right from here in Edmonton, which is
born and raised,
which is awesome. And tell us me a little bit, you said friends and family, you did your first round of funding through friends and family. Any other support that came about? Anyone else you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, absolutely. So we did a little over 6 figures with friends and family. So a lot of support on that side. That allowed us to build out our MVP, a product that did the bare minimum. It did its job. It worked. Orders went through, accepted. And then from there, we brought on Rick White, who's been a phenomenal mentor and investor as well. And we've been able to scale the investment to just over $1 million to date.
Right on. Yeah. That's wicked. And so what are next steps? What's the future?
So we're really looking at expanding throughout the United States. We've brought on a few new partners down there and expanding in there. We're, like Jade said, we're looking at expanding in California.
Yeah.
And like selfishly, I want to be able to go to my favorite sports teams and be like using my service in my favorite sports teams venues and stuff. So throughout Canada as well into more premier leagues throughout.
Good stuff. Awesome. And so now you guys are one of the top, or you're one of the top 10s here with the Edmonton Unlimited. What does it mean for you guys to be part of that? And how about the support that those guys have given you?
I'll start again. So.
Yeah, you go ahead.
It means a lot to me because like my whole journey into Ordr and everything like that started like at the beginning of COVID.
Yeah.
I was turning 30. Pandemic happened, and I started doing pre-flights through Startup Edmonton.
Gotcha.
With a completely different idea that wasn't actually all that great.
Yeah.
But I started through Startup Edmonton and just talking on 7 p.m. phone call, like Zoom calls with a bunch of other prospective entrepreneurs, and just doing the homework, and to go from there to, in a relatively short time, to here to be a top 10 company.
Yeah.
It's really humbling.
Awesome. And what was your experience, the community?
Yeah, I second that. You know, it's very humbling, and I'm incredibly excited to be a part of Launch Party 13.
Yeah.
And get the support of our internal community here in the Entrepreneur.
Yeah. Well, it's such a great community, and we're so happy that you're part of that community. So thank you so much, you guys, for coming in and telling us all about Ordr. And best of luck to you. I think this can be huge, and getting the word out there is what's going to help you get to the next level. So thank you again so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.